Today, we're going to be looking at what might be the perfect 1-2 punch for your EDC as we take a look at a fixed blade with some pretty high expectations to live up to and a new folder on the block that's rocking the strongest lock. We're going to be looking at the Kizer Drop Bear Fixie and the Kizer Parakeet. And I'm going to tell you how you could get both for less than $100. Stick around. What it do, Kripple Krew? EDC with DBD, disabled but deadly, and that's right, we're going to be taking a look at a couple of dope-ass Kizers today, but first, I want to let you know that if you are not a member of Kripple Krew Inc., it only costs a couple of bucks a month to join, and you're going to get access to some members-only content and giveaways, and our first ever knife war, the Kripple Krew Inc. Gas Station Knife War of 2025. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that, but that is members only. Now, go ahead, do me a favor, stab that like button /subscribe, and we are going to talk about the Drop Bear. So, the Kizer Drop Bear, if you're watching EDC videos, I'm pretty sure that by this point you know of and probably own a couple Drop Bears. So, the Drop Bear has definitely achieved that evergreen status that everybody looks for. Possibly the first of the budget crossbar locks to really take off after the Axis lock patent expired with Benchmade. And Kizer really took the Axis lock and made it better by making it adjustable in their clutch lock. So you can get so many flavors of this knife now in both premium and in budget form. They've got the Kizer YouTuber with replaceable utility blades, and now they have some Kizer Drop Bear fixed blades. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And like I said in the intro, that this is a fixed blade that has quite the reputation to live up to with the name Drop Bear on it. And when I heard that the Drop Bear was coming, I was well stoked. I really wanted to love this knife. And first, I'm going to give you some specs on it. It definitely has that Drop Bear look. This is available in 3 different blade shapes, 3 different blade steels, and a couple of different handle materials. But this has an overall length of 6 inches with a 2.57 inch drop point blade and a handle length of 3.44 inches. We have a blade stock thickness of 120 thousandths. Look at all of that usable jimping, even in the G10. It continues in that G10. We'll talk about that. 120 thousandths blade stock thickness and a weight of right around 2.5 ounces, depending on the scale material. This one is one of the Amazon exclusives in D2 with G10 scales. There's 2 Amazon exclusives in D2, and then there's also 2 versions in AEBL and one in NitroV. If I was going to get one of these for my own collection, this did come in, both of these knives today, via the passaround. But if I was going to get this for my own collection, I would absolutely go with either the 14C and Micarta or the AEBL and Micarta. But let's talk about the size of this knife by giving you a couple of quick size comparisons. First, y'all in the Kripple Krew know Lagatha. And as you can see, it's a fair bit shorter than Lagatha, which surprised me a little bit. That is my Aries EDC custom spike, better known as Lagatha, because I did expect a larger knife. Here it is compared to the actual Drop Bear. And let's go butt to butt. And you can see it's well over 1 inch shorter than the Drop Bear, which I wasn't expecting. Now, I don't mind a small knife, especially for a neck knife, but we're going to get into why this one bugs me a little bit as a neck knife. Now, here it is next to the Kubi and Aries EDC Bloom, which is meant to be more of a 3-finger knife. And one more. We will do the Tempest Dust Devil. Now, the Dust Devil is more about the size I was expecting out of the drop bear. And as you can see, it is a fair bit shorter. I don't mind smaller fixed blades, especially if I can get a full 4-finger grip. And I will say that there is jimping underneath here in the finger choil. However, boy, that really does keep it wide all the way out to where you're going to sharpen it. So it's a very much a tapered plunge grind, which means that's going to thicken up pretty quickly once you start to sharpen this. And if you go with the NitroV especially, you're going to be sharpening it, probably thickening it up quicker than you'd like. I just noticed how that plunge grind is because of that jimping. I do, like I said earlier, like the jimping that's back here on the G10 as well as the blade stock, because it just does give you a little bit extra traction. You have jimping way out on here, and then of course out on the tip. And that's really where this knife does shine, is in a pinch grip. You do have a nice chamfer on both sides of the blade so that you can get a nice pinch or utility grip. And then it does fit comfortably in the hand. Now, I do wish that these scales were wider. They feel very narrow in the hand, and this is not what I would choose for my EDC Fixie, like my belt knife, because it's not a knife with a handle that I'm going to comfortably use for a long time. It's just a little thin for me, and the shape of it, this would be a better neck knife for me, but we got this big old pancake sheath on here. We do have an extra retention screw, and it is very tight. It's tight like a tiger, no rattle. Comes with this mini Tech-Lock style belt clip, which they work, and you can adjust this so that you can carry it, you know, horizontally. You can carry it scout carry in your back, horizontally along your belt. I like to carry mine, a lot of my fixed blades horizontally on my belt with the handle right in front of my belt buckle. You can carry it vertically on a strap. I mean, however you want to carry it, this you can adjust this to allow for. Now, I personally would probably throw an ulti clip on here, but what I really, really wish is that instead of a pancake style sheath, which is 2 pieces of Kydex bolted together, I wish that this was a taco style sheath. And what I mean by that is a sheath that is a single piece of Kydex folded over. Because look how much smaller that would be. That would really turn this into like a pocket powerhouse for a pocket carry Fixie, or it would make a great neck knife then. And this to me is a fine neck knife size. But for my EDC work, it's a little thin for my hands. The size, I just wish they'd up, it was a little bit bigger if it was going to be my full-size tool or my daily tool. Now, if your hands are a little smaller than mine, or narrow knives don't bother your hands, this really could be an amazing knife for you. The drop bear profile, whether you get the clip point, the Sheepsfoot, or this drop point, is going to lend itself to so many tasks. And they did add a nice couple of extra features into the scales with the tweezers and metal toothpick. And you get 2 of each. And those store in the scales just like so. So you are adding a little bit of extra usability to your blade. I like that a lot. Again, I just wish this was a little bit wider. I do like that the scales are bolt-on. They are T8s, so you can't take those off to clean it. Again, they have the multiple steels, multiple scale materials. Maybe the Micarta would feel better in my hands. I still want to try the Micarta one. But if you like the drop bear, you can get this version right now for 40 bucks on Amazon. There's a $10 off coupon for either this version with the Blackwash or the black G10 and the satin finish D2 for less than 40 bucks. I'll link that below. But we're going to move on to a knife that I was crazy excited to get in, because this is another design from our homie, Johan Jordaan. Coming straight to us out of South Africa. He is a custom knife maker, knife designer. If you watch my channel, if you watch my live streams, he's been on my live streams a couple of times during South African Saturday specials. Great guy. His design language really speaks to me. You guys know that I am a huge fan of the Artisan Clio, which is a beautiful premium 5th carry with S90V and tie and a button lock. And we'll do a size comparison in a minute. And of course, you guys know, I thought it was right here in front of me on the desk. Anyway, he also designed the pickled steel Warhog, which should have been right here, because I had just, oh yes it is, I just used it. The pickled steel Warhog was his first design, and as you can see, he's a fondness for Sheepsfoot blades. This one is available in a Sheepsfoot or a drop point, and this little powerhouse is packing a nice secret behind these Amazon exclusive black micarta scales, and that is that this one is a button actuated compression style lock. So as you can see, we have that liner coming out there, and there is a lot of contact as it wedges underneath the stop pin and against the tang of the blade. Then this cutout behind the jimping here on the blade rests over this other stop pin right here, providing even more support. So this is not just your regular button lock or even your regular button liner lock. This would definitely be closer to, they're not comparing it to, but this would be closer to the smock lock in that compression style lockup button actuation. And boy, is it fidgety. It is rock solid. There is zero play up and down, left and right with this lock. And this is a lock that can take a lot of abuse. I want to give you the specs, and I'm going to show you some size comparisons. Overall length is 5.87 inches. We've got a blade length of 2.46 inches, a handle length of 3.41 inches, and a blade stock thickness of 110 thousandths. Our weight's coming in under 2.5 ounces. This one here is Micarta over steel liners. They also have aluminum. They also have Ultim in the drop point and clear acrylic in the Sheepsfoot. And those allow you to see that lock at work. And I think the clear ones are very cool because you can really see how that is actuating. But let's compare it to the OG pocket powerhouse with the compression lock, the Spyderco Lil Native. And what I want to show you is we flip this around, and we have almost the exact same grip length as the Lil Native and the same overall length. So if you like the Lil Native, which is, I do, but you want the same style lockup that's easier to actuate, this is your guy right here. This is the budget answer to the Lil Native. Now, I am not saying that the Lil Native isn't worth the money that you get for it. But you can pick one of these up for half the price of a Lil Native. These start at like $55. And you're getting NitroV, a full 4-finger grip. You get that real little big knife feeling, jimping halfway up the blade so that I really lock in. A really comfortable utility style pinch grip. And a very small reversible tip up pocket presence. I like the smaller pocket clip that they didn't go with a full-size pocket clip because it would be really weird on this knife. And over this micarta, even with the grooves, this goes in and out of the pocket very easily at 2.5 ounces. You really don't even know it's there until you want to use it. And then you've got that NitroV blade, which takes a wicked sticky sharp edge and is very easy to maintain, as well as being very corrosion resistant. This is going to be a very durable knife for you, especially with that lock, that rock solid lockup. And it's just, like I said, a pocket powerhouse type knife. It's going to put that work in, and you're not going to worry about it failing or breaking on you. The action is phenomenal. I mean, you push that button in, and the blade goes away. And then it just flies out every time. You can actuate it by those thumb studs, reversible thumb studs. You can kind of get your finger in on that fuller. And, of course, you can launch it with the button itself. A couple more quick size comparisons. You know what? Let's do this. Because they are very similar. This is definitely a premium knife here. We'll compare it to the Clio. And it is a fair amount larger than the Clio. And the Clio is also a standard plunge style button lock, even though it does have amazing action. Whereas this lockup is going to be much stronger because of that style of lock. One more, another budget pocket powerhouse in the Civivi Baby Banter. So if you've held a Baby Banter, it's quite a bit larger than a Baby Banter and gives you that little big knife feel with a fair amount more edge. For $55, this might be the 5th pocket knife of the year. This could be the ladies' knife of the year. You know, I said that the Clio might be, but with this coming in at only $55 and having a more solid lockup and a wider range of options, this might take the #1 spot from the Clio. So far, I think this might be, at least it's in the running for the top ladies' knife of the year, and definitely also for the top 5th pocket knife. I want to know what you guys think of these two knives, the Parakeet and the Drop Bear, and we'll compare them side by side here. Now, if you carry in an office or something and you want to carry a fixed blade and a folder that's not going to scare anybody or get you in trouble, this is a great combo here. If you have smaller hands or you just have smaller carry needs, great 1-2 punch. Whoops, it helps if I actually hit paper and edge together. As you can see, like all drop bears, the Drop Bear Fixie is plenty slicey. So, let me know your thoughts below. Which one or both do you guys like? Are you going to grab either of them? Are you going to grab both of them? Would you prefer if the scales on this were a little wider, or am I just tripping? Let me know your thoughts. See you on tomorrow's South African Saturday. Until then, stay safe, stay frosty, and most importantly, stay deadly.